A helpful way to assess the student learning process is through a weekly reflection form. Now this can be done daily, especially if you're at the elementary level, but at the secondary level, weekly allows you to check in with students to see how they're doing with their learning. So here's what this might look like. I have a page here. You'll notice I have 1 to 5, how are you doing? The nice thing about separating this from the task is this assessment can allow me to check in with students personally, to check in on their wellness, especially when we're in a remote learning environment. That's so important. So I can see how they're doing and ask if there's anything they need from me. And then when I hit next, it's going to take me to a page that allows me to check in on the learning objective. So it just says learning objective 1. The student identifies what they were learning this week, how well they understand it currently, and then this is the important part. What are your next steps with this learning area next week? Now, when we're talking about assessing the process of learning, this question's the most important piece because we want them to identify where are you at currently, but most importantly, where are you going to go next? So this is what that might look like from a 6-12 perspective. You could do it with kindergarten. I am using Google Forms here. Part of the reason is because it allows me to use pictures as my answer choices, which will make it a little bit easier for the students to identify their current level. So I have them use pictures here. On the next one, I even have with math, I have thumbs up, thumbs down. Now you'll notice this one at an elementary level, instead of saying learning objective 1, 2, or 3, I've broken it out by content area. Now this is totally up to you, but this could be one way to help organize it, especially if you're going to do a weekly reflection. The key with all of this that's really helpful is that you're separating the reflection from the task. Often when we ask students to reflect and we focus it around a task, all they talk about is the product, not necessarily the process or the learning. So by having a separate reflection that they do solely about the process and the learning objective, we allow them that space to focus specifically on that so that they can really process through their learning, figure out where they're at, and then figure out where they need to go next. So all this is some sort of reflection form, but this could be a good way to assess the learning process as students are going through it remotely or in the building as well.